Well, here we go. We're going to get our first look tonight at the new look NFL. I believe the politically correct term for it would be the woke NFL. Though if I really wanted to be politically correct, I would tell you that the NFL has no business being in politics. But down the slippery slope we go. I know I have explained the social justice initiatives that the NFL is taking before on this channel, but I'm going to do it again for anybody that might have missed the first video. Players are going to be allowed to wear decals on their helmets with names of victims of systemic racism. The league is going to put social justice messages in the end zone. They're going to play two national anthems, at least for week one. The actual national anthem and the black national anthem. From what I can tell, this is only going to occur during week one, but who knows at this point. The NFL is also introducing us to the It Takes Us All campaign, which the league defines as authentic imagery of our nation's journey in 2020. It sounds like political jargon to me. The campaign is going to recognize frontline healthcare workers. I'm okay with that. The social justice movement and the NFL players and their journey to the opening of the season. I'm okay with that too. I'll be honest with you guys. None of this really matters to me. I don't care. I don't care about the messages in the end zone. I don't care about the It Takes Us All campaign. I don't care about the players pushing whatever agenda that they're pushing. I just don't care. I love the NFL. I just want to watch them play football on Sundays. But I'm in the minority. I am in the minority. I have talked about this topic several times over the past couple of months in terms of both the NFL and the NBA. And a lot of you guys are pissed off about this. A lot of you guys are boycotting both leagues. You're not watching. I'll tell you something right now. If enough of you stop watching, and in the NBA's case, continue to stop watching, it's going to work. I believe it's actually already started to work in the NBA. But unfortunately for Roger Goodell and the NFL front office, it's too late to turn back now. They have already dove in head first with this social justice initiative. They're going to have to move forward with it at this point, and it's not going to be good. This is going to be a disaster. Roger Goodell has made the same mistake that Adam Silver made in the NBA, a mistake that myself and a handful of other people had been warning about for months now. Roger Goodell has put himself in a situation where he is stuck between what the majority of his players want to do and what a majority of his fan base doesn't want. This is a lose-lose situation for both Roger Goodell and NFL players. I'm going to be blunt here. This is going to sound harsh, but when it comes to this situation, what the players want with this infusing social justice and politics into football, it doesn't matter. Because if fans aren't watching, the NFL ceases to exist. If fans aren't going to games, it impacts league revenue, which impacts the salary cap, which impacts player salaries. The same goes for the NFL and their television deals. Networks like Fox, CBS, they pay billions of dollars every year for the rights to broadcast NFL games because the league guarantees them a sizable audience. If that audience drops 20, 30, 40, 50%, the NFL is going to be in trouble. And make no mistake about it. People are pissed off right now with the NFL. It boggles my mind how they don't seem to be understanding the fact that people do not want politics in sports. Take Drew Brees, for example. 6 months ago, if you told me that the city of New Orleans would turn on Drew Brees, I would have never believed you. Thought you were out of your mind. It's happening right now. Drew Brees and most members of the Saints roster, they wore Jacob Blake's name on the front of their helmets during practice at training camp one day. Trust me, This did not go over well with Saints fans. Lifelong season ticket holders are refusing to go back to games, refusing to watch on TV. There was even a fan at one training camp practice that yelled at Drew Brees, asking if it was one of his daughters that had been raped by Jacob Blake. Would he be supporting him then? Now, Drew Brees, you have to understand, this dude is a god in New Orleans. Or was. But now his own fan base is turning against him. And I really feel bad for Drew Brees. I really do. Because he's in a position where he is stuck. He caught hell back in June from players across the NFL. Players in his own locker room. With his comments that he made about kneeling for the national anthem. I feel like he wore Jacob Blake's name to show solidarity with his teammates, not knowing the full background of the entire story regarding Jacob Blake. And now Drew Brees is in a situation where he has pissed off a lot of his fans. And if he decides to kneel for the national anthem like a lot of the rest of the league's going to do, forget about it. Drew Brees will become a temporary pariah in the city of New Orleans. That is why I keep pounding this point over and over and over and over again. Sports and politics don't mix. Just stay out of it. Say nothing. That is always the easiest and the best response if you're a sports league or if you're a professional athlete. Do absolutely nothing. Say absolutely nothing. Because you just don't belong in the political arena. Cardi B right now, she's learning that the hard way. I told you guys a couple of days ago about the largest survey ever done in America. Between 87 and 92% of people did not want sports leagues or athletes talking about or promoting political and social causes. I don't understand what Roger Goodell and the NFL don't comprehend about this. The fans, the people that pay your bills, your customers, they don't want you involved. And it doesn't matter whether they agree with the message that you're putting out or they disagree with it. They might agree with you politically. They still don't want you involved with it. Matt Patricia, head coach of the Detroit Lions for now, he made an interesting comment back in August. He said, quote, "This is a player-led team. They are super intelligent and have some amazing things to say. I just have to listen and follow. Just proud of my players. We want to be part of the solution," end quote. Now, I get what Matt Patricia's doing here. I get it. But NFL teams have never been player-led. They have always been led by head coaches, ownership. Bill Belichick, man in charge in New England. Sean Payton in New Orleans. Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. The NBA, on the other hand, the NBA is a player-driven league, not the NFL. Never has been. The NFL is structured like just about every other company in America. Take your job, for example. The structure is top down. Owner, president, vice president, your boss, you. That's how it goes, or however it goes, but you get my point. It's the same way in the NFL. If what Matt Patricia is saying is true across the league, then the NFL is turning into the NBA, where the inmates, so to speak, are beginning to run the asylum. The players are getting to a point, or they're trying to, where they're running the league, not the owners. And that's just a recipe for disaster. Just look at how it's working out for the NBA right now. Players across both leagues keep talking about making changes. We need change. We need change. That's what we keep hearing. But what change? I never hear any of these guys present ideas for changes that they're talking about. I just hear a bunch of complaints. Complaints from guys making millions of dollars a year. Complaints from guys that don't vote. It's true. I saw something the other day that said between 70 and 80% of NFL and NBA players aren't even registered to vote. Colin Kaepernick, for example, the guy who pretty much sparked this movement 4 years ago, isn't registered to vote. To me, that just kills the whole message. How are these athletes going to preach to us about voting, yet they're not even registered to vote themselves? I was really hoping that the NFL was going to be the first league to kind of temper this infusion of politics and sports. I was hoping they were going to be the leaders of just getting back to playing football, but that does not look to be the case. I said a couple of weeks ago that I thought they could get away with what they were doing in week 1, but now it appears that this is going to be a 16-week social justice push, and it is going to blow up in their face. It would not shock me to see NFL ratings drop 50%. Yes, I think the decline could be that drastic. Let me tell you one reason why I think that. Nick Saban led his players on a Black Lives Matter march through the Alabama campus in Tuscaloosa a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think it was a big deal. I knew what he was doing. Nick Saban was placating his players, showing his support for them. I understood it. There was nothing really to the march. They walked and it was pretty much over. That was it. Back to practice. But dude, the reaction to it in the state of Alabama was undeniably negative. You got to understand, Nick Saban is a god in Alabama. This guy could do no wrong, or so he thought. I know people who are generational Alabama fans, and when I say that, the great-grandparents graduated from Alabama, the grandparents, the parents, the kids' kids, so on and so forth. Always season ticket holders. Always donating money to the program. After Nick Saban led that march, a lot of Alabama football fans are washing their hands of Alabama football. That is how serious this could be for the NFL. The question is, how long is it going to take for them to learn that fans don't want this stuff? And if and when they do learn, how much of the lost audience will they be able to get back? They are going to allow players to kneel for the national anthem. Fans are going to be pissed off about it. They're going to stop watching. It's going to happen. If players kneel for the national anthem and then they stand for the black national anthem, the league, I think, is going to experience a type of backlash that they have never seen before. It is going to be brutal. I'll be honest with you, though. I think the NFL will be okay eventually. I think Roger Goodell and the owners are allowing the players to get their opinions and their voices heard for now, using the NFL as a platform. For now. But once the numbers and the revenue starts to drop, I think that Goodell and the owners will put a stop to it. I think they will. Just like they did with the Colin Kaepernick situation a few years ago. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Are you guys going to be watching the woke NFL this weekend? Or are you part of the group, possibly millions of people that are refusing to watch because of the politics involved? Sound off in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Have any questions, a topic you'd like me to discuss, you can email me at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time.